Jibby gets so excited when I start speaking. She's just like walking around. Hi, hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Kat, and it's been a minute since I've posted on my YouTube channel. I am excited to come here today and bring you along for a little reading vlog. Before we dive in, I did just want to give a little chat on like where I've been. I kind of just like dropped off of YouTube. I was feeling a little bit like overwhelmed and burnt out with like personal life, work life, and then also trying to figure out like what I wanted to be posting and like what videos to film. And it kind of got to a point where it felt like I was just filming, editing, posting, and I wasn't really thinking about what I was doing, and I wasn't super excited about what I was making. When I think back to why I started a booktube and what I love about booktube and the videos that I personally like watching, it's reading vlogs, and I feel like sometimes I can get in my head about them. They do take a bit more time to edit one, but those are the videos that I love watching, so I kind of want to try and do more reading vlogs on my channel. We'll still have sit-down videos, but I was feeling a little bit uninspired, and I desperately needed to just like take a break, not film, not think about editing, and just spend time reading and doing the hobby that I really, really love. So that was really necessary for me, and I'm super excited to be back and to be filming again and sitting down. I'm sorry if I seem a little awkward. I'm a little out of practice. So I hope that you also like reading vlogs, because that's kind of what I want to do a little bit more of, and just share the books that I'm currently reading while I'm reading them, share my thoughts as I go. I'll still do wrap-ups, I'll still do like seasonal TBRs, so those will still be on my channel, but I did just want to add a little note why I was like missing for a little bit. But for today's video, I have wanted to do a reading vlog of Julia Armfield's book, Private Rites. It's not out in the US yet. I think it comes out in December. I'll put the date somewhere on the screen. What is that? I think I have like toothpaste on the... What? I think there's toothpaste on the back of my Kindle. But anyways, NetGalley gave me an ARC of it, and it's just been sitting on my Kindle for I think like a month or two. And I just haven't gotten around to it because I wanted to film it, but I just didn't know when to film it. And I think it's finally time. Right now when I'm filming, it's the end of August and we are almost into September, getting closer to like the spookier season. I just think that this is going to be like a great book to read in the month of September. So I have a long weekend, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to get through this book this weekend. I don't have like any set plans. I'm kind of just like going with the flow, doing things that I like, and I'll just bring you along for the ride. I wonder if it tells me how many pages. Okay, time left in book. Let's see if that will help figure out how long this book is. Okay, so it's 3 hours and 54 minutes long. Like that's the time that it says on my Kindle, so I feel like I can definitely finish this weekend. Right now, I think we are going to head to the park and get some reading in. I might get a sweet treat somewhere, and we might just like look at some shops. Oh, Jibby finally wants to say hello. Hello. Such good timing. We were just about to end. My gosh, I love her. Look at her. Look at her. Look at you. But yeah, well, a good old shake. It's already like almost noon, so I definitely need to get going. So I will just talk to you as I'm reading along with this book, and I will see you guys later. Oh my god. You may or may not hear Jacob just laughing in the background, but he's playing a game with some of his friends. So I hope that you can just hear me. And he just sounds, oh my god. He's having a really good time. But I thought I can't even focus because I just hear him laughing. I just wanted to do a little check-in because it's 7:34 right now. I did a lot today. Like, we had some like little errands that we needed to run because we needed to buy some gifts. And also I was on a mission to try and find a copy of Salt Slow by Julia Armfield because I kind of want to own it. And I just heard great things about it. And as I've been reading Private Rites, I just feel like Julia Armfield is going to be like an author that I really enjoy. So I was looking for a copy of that one, trying to see if I can get it as like one of the remainders, but I didn't have any luck. So I just went to Trident and didn't see any there. I didn't actually get to read until like around 2 p.m. And like I said, it's like 7:30 right now. I haven't made too much of a dent. I am... Let's see. It doesn't tell me what page I'm on. It's telling me like the percentage. And this morning, I think I said it was like 4 hours and something minutes long. And as I was reading, it was getting longer and longer. And I'm sure it just has to do with the fact that this is like an e-arc, that it's not like telling me the exact details. So I don't actually know how long it would take to read the book. It's saying that I am 15% through and I'm on the second chapter and I have 21 minutes left. I've tried to read the first page a few times and I will say that first like section of the book is really confusing to me. I don't know what I'm reading. It kind of felt like it was just like words on a page and my brain can't digest it and understand what was being said. But then it jumps to the present day, I think, and we just start getting the points of views of all the sisters. There are 3 sisters, so we are kind of getting a little bit of a perspective on like their personalities, and it's been really interesting so far. As I'm like progressing, I'm becoming more and more intrigued. I was a little nervous when I first started that first section. I was like, I think I'm gonna hate this, but as I've been going, I've been enjoying it a lot more, and seeing the dynamics between the 3 sisters and the fact that one of them is a half sister, and seeing like the differences between their relationships. It seems like there's a bit of tension, there's a bit of distance. That's just been really, really interesting to read about. I do love reading about like familial relationships. I believe that this is in the description, and if it's not, I'll just cut this out. Their father dies and now they are kind of left to deal with the grief and also deal with like their relationship with each other and trying to navigate the loss of their father. It's definitely like a perfect read for right now. It's kind of dark and gloomy and it was cloudy earlier, and I feel like it's working really, really well for this vibe. But yes, that is all that I have to update you on. I have been having a really good day so far, and I just want to keep reading, so that's a good sign. I will probably not speak to you until tomorrow, unless there's like anything big that happens in this book. But for now, I will just chat with you tomorrow and see what I get up to. I don't really know yet. So far, the only plans I have are going to see Dee Dee and maybe going to a coffee shop. Besides that, I have nothing. So hopefully a lot of reading will get done. I will see you tomorrow. Good morning. It is the next day and I just wanted to do a little check-in. Last time I checked with you all, I was 15% of the way through, and now I'm officially 31% of the way through. I would like to get to the halfway mark soon, like at some point this morning, because then it'll feel like I'm a little bit closer to like being done with the book, and hopefully I'll be able to finish it by the end of Monday. An element that I forgot to mention is it's raining nonstop at this point in time of life where they live. I don't know if it's like everywhere or if it's like just everywhere it's raining all the time and things are flooding. Life has kind of changed for them. They can't really drive. They don't really walk around. They have to take ferries to different places. So that's also an aspect of this book. So it feels like really damp and wet and cold and gloomy. And I feel like that adds a lot to the story as well. We change perspectives between the different sisters. So you'll get different points of views, but also another perspective you get, or I guess I don't know if it's a perspective, but each of the sections will say like one of the sisters' names, but also randomly we will also see city, and it'll just be kind of talking about the city and the changes and what's happening. And I think that that's like a really interesting addition to the book because it feels like kind of like a character in a sense, where it's like this rain and the constant changes that are happening to the city are like impacting their lives, while also we're focusing in on like what's currently happening to them as they're dealing with the grief of their father. Really, really enjoying this book so far, and I'm glad that I didn't let like the very first section of this book put me off, because it definitely threw me off. I didn't love it, but now that I'm like getting more into it and learning more about the sisters, I'm really enjoying it. I'm also seeing like bits and pieces of each of the sisters within myself. There's also some similarities between the sibling relationships that I'm reading about and like my personal life, which I think is so fascinating to read about. It's making me reflect a little bit more and think about certain things, because I feel like with each sister you get like different perspectives of how they feel about their father, and also different ways that they remember things about their father or things that they just assumed about each other, which I think is fascinating and heartbreaking at the same time, because I kind of just want them all to like sit and talk, but it's just not that easy sometimes. I also, while reading this, there was like a part where the eldest sister, I forget her name, Isla, I think. Yeah, I think she's the eldest, where her sister Irene loses a tooth and she like drops it and it's at like the bottom of the stairs, and her older sister goes down and tries to find the tooth for her, and when she gives it to her, Irene is like, ew, like why would you do that, like that was not necessary, but she does it anyway, and she puts it under her pillow so that she can get her tooth fairy money. And that doesn't happen because they forget to tell the parents about the tooth and that it's under the pillow. And that just made me laugh, because I have like a very similar story in the sense that like I lost a tooth and I put it under my pillow, but I woke up the next day and the tooth was still there. It was still under my pillow, and I went to them and I was like so confused. I was like, the tooth fairy never came, like she didn't leave me any money. And you could tell, like immediately I noticed like a change in my parents' face, like they were panicking. And later on, like the day continues, and at some point I see that like there's money under the pillow, but then I also step on my tooth because they had like dropped it on the floor, and I was like, what is going on? And then that was the day I found out that the tooth fairy was actually my parents. Total side story, but that little section of this book made me think about that story. That's all I have so far for updates. I'm going to spend the rest of the morning reading, so hopefully later tonight when I do a check-in, we can chat a little bit more about this book. As for now, I'm going to go back to reading, and then I'm going to the movies later, so maybe I'll also give a little update on what I thought of Dee Dee. But yeah, I will catch you later. Life doesn't have to be so exciting. Make it exciting. There's like dirty little spot on my shoe.
Unfortunately kind of operates on precedence, and it was kind of reverse engineered in a
Jacob's room. My hair looks kind of nuts because it is so hot and humid outside, and I feel gross right now because we were walking around a lot. It's just not the weather for it. It's so sticky and humid. But I am back. I have been reading a little bit. I went out to watch Dee Dee and it was so good. I definitely cried during that movie. I think it's one of my favorite movies that I've watched this year. I haven't really watched that many movies, but this one is definitely a favorite, and I would love to own it. I want to rewatch it. It was just so good. It's a coming of age story. The director of the movie, it's based off of his life and growing up as an Asian American. It was the same time frame that I was growing up. So I think he was born in 1994 and I was born in 1992. So there are just so many similarities, as well as similarities with having parents who are immigrants and kind of dealing with your identity and growing up. It was so funny as well. There were so many funny moments. I loved the nostalgia of it all and seeing AIM and MySpace and Facebook and what it felt like growing up during that time. It was so well done. So many beautiful shots as well. I highly recommend watching it if you haven't. If it's been on your radar, go watch it. It was excellent. But for a reading update, I am 48%, so not quite 50% through the book, but almost. And I think I'll be able to definitely hit 50% tonight. It's 7:21 right now, and my plan is just to make some food, make some dinner, and spend more time with this book. I don't really have too many more updates, but I will say for one of the sisters, Irene, her partner, Jude, is so sweet and kind, and you can tell that they really get Irene on a level that most other people don't. I feel Irene definitely comes across as a character who's misunderstood a bit, and it feels like Jude is really there for her. There's just so many sweet and tender moments between them, and I just love their relationship. Really enjoying it. So I'm just gonna get back to reading, make some dinner, and I will probably check in with you tomorrow. The hell? It's been a second since I've talked to the camera. I don't think I've spoken to the camera at all today. I think I just took you along for my morning. I had a really nice and slow morning. I just really enjoyed it and spent some time reading. And I'm officially, let me grab my Kindle. I'm officially 65% of the way through. It's currently, what time is it? 5, that's not correct. I think it's 6:07, and this is the last day that I wanted to film, so I don't know if I'll actually get to finish the book. Future Cat will come back and give some final thoughts. For the book, there's not too much more I have really to update on my thoughts. I will say that we are getting some different perspectives, and I've really enjoyed those perspectives. So originally it was just the three sisters and then the city's point of view, I guess. Not necessarily the city's point of view, but like the changes that are happening within the city. Then we got two more people's perspectives, and I really enjoyed that piece. I feel like it added a bit more information on who each of the sisters are and how other people view them, and I have really enjoyed that. There's like a sinister something going on within the story, but I don't really understand it, so I'm curious to see if as I continue I'll learn a little bit more about like what that's about. But that's all I really have to say about the book. I'm going to make a tea, and we're going to chill, and we're going to fight the Sunday scaries, even though it's technically Monday. And I will probably talk to you later. We'll see if I have an update later tonight, but if not, you will see me from the future. I will have like my final thoughts on this book. Hi. So there's a lot that's changed since we've last spoken. I cut my hair. I have a new camera. I finished private rites, and my Kindle died. So a lot has happened. Oh my God, Jibby. She's scratching up the rug, trying to get comfortable. Girl. Our rug is like not in great shape because she just loves to scratch it. She thinks that like anything soft and fluffy is just like her bed. So she's making sure she's very comfortable. She's going to work. Oh my God. I like, what is going on? Jivy, okay, you good? So she's comfortable now. We can proceed. But okay, like I said, lots has happened, lots has changed, a lot has happened, a lot has changed. Short hair, new camera, and finishing private rites, which that's what I'm here to talk about. Let's just dive right in because I can gab and I can't. This is the last piece I'm waiting on so that I can like fully finish my video and get it exported and uploaded, and I'm just ready to post this video. I took some notes, and now that I have a camera, I can just like hold my phone and I don't have to have like my computer or my iPad. I can just use this. Okay, so I feel like I already talked a bit about the synopsis of this book, so I'm not going to dive in on that. I've already covered that. Overall, this book, it's not a favorite. It's not like a new favorite. I don't think I would give it 5 stars either. I don't really rank books, but for this one, it feels like maybe like a 3.75, 4-star book. There is something about Julia Armfield's writing where she can like really describe the atmosphere and create a certain like dampness. And in this book, it was very similar to like Our Wives Under the Sea, where it feels very like ocean, water, damp. There's a lot of water involved, and in this book that was no different. There was like the flooding and constant rain. Everything felt damp, everything felt heavy. There's a lot of grief, and it's not even necessarily just like grief with the sisters having to deal with their father passing, but also the grief of like normal life, I guess. Like everything has changed because the climate is different now. There's also a bit of a discussion on those who have more money and who are wealthy and the luxuries that they're able to provide because they just have money and access. So some of the homes are like higher up than other homes, so they don't have to deal with the flooding as much, while there's other people who can't afford that and are stuck kind of in the worst of it and having to deal with like losing their home, having to leave their home. So there's a bit of discussion around that. We also get multiple points of views. I love getting different perspectives. I feel like it just adds a bit to the story. And I also just really appreciated like the city and like the climate feeling like its own character in the book. So really enjoyed that. There was an element in this book, I don't know if I want to say it because I don't know if it was in the description. I personally, when I started reading this book, had no idea, but I didn't really love this element to the book. I don't know that it necessarily added anything for me. It just felt like an extra thing that was happening, and I think I could have done without it. Or maybe if it would have been done differently, I don't know exactly how. I feel like with Our Wives Under the Sea, I was like immediately hooked and invested. With this one, it did take me a little bit longer, and there were just parts of this book that, I don't know, didn't really work as well for me. Overall, I did really appreciate like the relationships with the sisters. Like I loved that dynamic a lot. And the weather, the climate change, discussions on grief, like that all worked really well. But there was just a little something missing from this one. But overall, I did enjoy my time with it, and I'm so excited to read more from Julia Armfield. I finished it. It is like a week later, but that's okay. I hope that you enjoyed this video overall, and I am just excited with my new camera to make some more reading vlogs. I'm hoping that it'll make it a little bit easier for me and a little bit more fun as well. So I hope you're excited for that. I just realized I have no idea if I've been staring at the camera or the screen. So sorry, and I'm sorry if like the settings are off. I haven't played with it too much. I just needed to get this recorded, and I really wanted to try it out on my new camera. So sorry if the visuals, if the audio isn't that great. I'm gonna work on it. I think my next video is gonna be a sit down video. But after that, I'm hoping to do a lot more vlogs, and I just hope you enjoyed this video overall. I'm gonna wrap it up because I could gab on forever, and I feel like having a tiny mic is making me want to chat more. Something about it. But I hope that you are well, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.